Hello, welcome on back in. We are here with Act 2 of Slay the Spire Daily Climb Challenge, where you're trying to reach top 100 on the leaderboards before the end of the year. Now, once again, thank you for coming on in. I hope you enjoyed the video, and hello. Now, let us take a look at, okay, we have an elite here, with camp here, 2 camps, it's not a bad one, 3 camps, 4 an elite, 4 camps into an elite. I think I want to quad camp into elite, because that sounds like a bunch of fun for smithing. And we want to smith a lot of cards. Let's do Master Reality into Alpha, into Mind Blast, to Miracle into Devotion. Now we will pass a turn here. I would have liked to kill them. We lose 20 HP. Not great, but not bad. Okay, now we can Hand of Greed this one. We can battle him to Violence. Oh, that didn't do us any good. Don't know why I did that. But we're gonna take 20 down to 10 down to 42. That is unfortunate, but we do gain a smite here. So we can smite into Spirit Shield to pass. We take 4 or more. Take a lot of damage here. Down to 38 off the first fight alone. This is probably gonna be bad. Now we can Apotheosis into Sadistic Blade, into Smite, into Miracle Plus, into Magnetism, into Transmutation, into Pass. That is unfortunate. That is an unfortunate grab. Alright, now we gain the... Let's go with the Plunge Plus into the Planakea, into Sadistic Nature, into Swift Strike, into Smite, into Swivel, into Get Kill. There we go. 60 gold and 15 gold. Add a card to our deck. Flurry Bows, 0 cost. Deal 4 damage whenever you... change stances. Return this card from the discard pile into your hand. Mind Blast, 2 cost, uncommon. Deal damage equal to the number of cards in your draw pile. Protect, retain, gain to a block. I think I'm gonna take the protect card. 2 cost, armor card, but it's great. Okay, so we're gonna go Master Reality into Alpha, into battle him, into Miracle, into the Bomb, actually. Believe it or not. So the reason being is because once this bomb goes off, we get a vault here. We're fine. Because we can vault and boom boom. Now let's go with Smite into Protect the Pass, unfortunately. We're gonna take quite a bit of damage here, unfortunately. This is not good. Take 26. Down to 7 already. I'm not sure if we are going to survive this. Thankfully, we do kill here. The bomb that kills them all. 15 gold. Skill Potion. Gain 1 of 3 random skill cards to your hand. It costs 0 this turn. Add a card to your deck. Halt. 0 cost. Gain 3 block when you're in Wrath. Deal additional 9 block. Third Eye. 1. Gain 7 block. Scry 3. Pressure point. Supply 8 mark. All enemies lose HP equal to their mark. We're gonna take the Scry. So the biggest problem with this deck is, if we look at our deck, we have a lot of good cards. And we have a lot of good strategies. The problem is Alpha, Master Reality. Like, look at this. We have one good boom. Like, we can hit this, do Thinking Ahead, drawing 2 cards, and then putting a card on top of our draw pile. We'll put the Chrysalis here. We'll activate 2 Miracles and activate the Mayhem. See if we manage to do anything here with this. We have 7 HP. We have to win. Let's activate the Planakea. We'll activate Battle Hymn. Pass the turn. At least with the Battle Hymn, now we'll have something that we can smack with each time. Question is, will we be able to do anything about our damage that's about to come in? The answer is maybe not. We'll activate the Beta. Adding 2 Omegas here. We'll activate the Miracle. Then we're going to activate Scroll, drawing a bunch of cards. We gain one of the Omegas here. We could play it. Yes, actually, we can win with that. We can go with that Omega into Smite. Oh, that doesn't give us just enough range. We need to drink a potion. None of these work. Shit. God damn it. We're just short. We're just short. We're just short. By 3. Inconceivable! Yeah, honestly, what I'm gonna say about this deck... Okay, so this daily challenge, while it's got a lot of good cards, the removal of the base spine of having access to a stable deck of a lot of power cards, a lot of attack cards, and a lot of cards that give you block, you have a lot of cards that do things. But the problem is, these are a lot of synergistic cards, right? None of these are very powerful cards on their own. Like, yes, Mind Blast was starting to be a very powerful card. And Mind Blast Plus, if we could have ever gotten there, would have been great. Because it goes down to 1 cost. And if we can add multiples of that, then we can have big shots at the beginning. But we need to get like an 80 card deck for these things to actually pack a big enough punch to be our only attacks that we have right away, that we need. Shiny is one of those things that if you look at the deck, it looks pretty, but it's just like the Titanic. And it's just like the Toronto Maple Leafs. It looks really good until it hits the ice. So this deck here is absolutely all style, no substance. This is why you don't want to pick these up every time you see them. This is a great lesson learned on why I'm not stopping recording just yet, because I want to talk about this for a little bit. I want to use this as a learning experience, a learning tool to show. Alright, I want to talk about a few of these cards and why they could have issues. Judgment can be a really powerful card against certain enemies. However, against certain other enemies, this card can be a dead card in your hand many, many times. Conjure Blade, once again, this is a card that no matter what, unless you upgrade it, where it can give you an expunger that deals 10 damage 1 time, which is an okay card for free, is a card that will cost you a lot of opportunity cost. Meaning that it shuffles it into your draw pile and doesn't add it to you. If it's 0 cost and add it directly to your hand, then we would be talking about gas. You would gain the attack right away. But this is an attack you gain at the later date. You can't rely on it. Master Reality, this is now a card that if you have a deck that creates a lot of cards, it's great. So a combination of Master Reality Plus or Master Reality, either way, doesn't matter. Plus any card such as Battle Hymn. As you saw, we kept on gaining Smite Pluses, which dealt 16 damage every time you use them. Planche or Planche Plus, really good card. 0 cost power, but you have to be able to snap off a lot of cards to use this effect reliably. So, can be great, can be bad. Omniscience, as you saw there, if we can play it, it's great. You can gain access to anything in your deck. And if you can gain the upgraded version, you gain them twice. No, you gain them twice no matter what. Alpha can be great, but this is a very slow burn card. Not a great offensive tool, because you never know how long it will take to get to the final card. You have to play the Alpha, then you have to play the Beta, then you have to play the Omega. And you have to do those in order. Obviously, you only get them in order. Vault can be a good card, but it's not always the greatest card on the planet. And it costs a lot to be able to play this. But this can dodge certain effects. It's actually pretty good. Ragnarok here, expensive, but it deals a lot of damage. Can be good, but it can take up your entire turn. And it's a random effect, so if it doesn't kill at least 1 or 2 enemies, probably not worth your entire turn. You have to remember, you have to sacrifice an entire turn to play this. Unless you have a deck that uses Diva Form, gets Diva Form out early, because you have to, once again, sacrifice your entire turn to play Diva Form. To be able to gain an ability to, in your later turns, then you can start playing more cards. And then you have to draw the cards that have the higher cost to make it more worth it. Because if you're not using all your energy per turn, it doesn't matter if you gain a ton of it. And then these high cost cards that you have in your hand that are dead without that extra energy are dead cards. This is the problem with these rare cards, is that many of them can be dead cards. You would think rare card equals good card. This is not entirely true. I would much rather have a deck filled with crush joints and a lot of defensive cards, because that can be very reliable. These types of cards can be very reliable. Every turn, I am okay with playing an Evaluate. Every turn, I am perfectly okay with playing a Crush Joints. I love playing an Evaluate into a Crush Joints. Great ways to play. I don't mind playing a Kia. This can very much help, even though it exhausts itself. Mind Blast is a varied card. I'm not exactly the biggest keen on it. Battle Hymn gives me a very good attacking card every turn. I just gain 1. Honestly, 1 is good enough. You make it innate as well, now we're talking gas. Because now at that initial turn, I gotta snap this card off for 1 cost. And at very low opportunity cost, now I'm guaranteeing myself 1 attack per turn. It means that I can attack each turn, even if I have to be defensive somewhat. And even if I can't attack, it's not like I get this Smite card discarded. It does have the retain effect. Sadistic Nature. Once again, this is a very varied card. Because if we have a deck like this, where we only have, let's count. Let's go from the top to the bottom and count. We have as you can see, I'm not even hitting anything to count yet. I might have passed. Let me double check. No, I have not actually. Yep, it's all the way down here. Still going. 1 potential. And that has to be at the right time. 2 potential cards in this entire deck to activate the 2 Sadistic Natures. It turns out these cards are not very good when you don't have a deck loaded up to the brim with effects that absolutely slap your enemies with any type of status effects. You need to be able to debuff your enemy with regularity to take advantage of this. You need to be hitting it, I'd say, at least 1 to 3 times per turn to ever pick one of these up. And you need to have a deck that can just do these effects. You don't need to pick one of these up, then build a deck for it. Build a deck for it, and then pick one of these up if you run into it. Plain and simply pick cards that go into your effect, not picking cards that you can build an effect into. It's much easier to pick a card that your effect that is baked into your deck, pretty well, other than trying to bake a deck around a card. Depending if, okay, that rule goes out the window if it's like, say, in the first 10 floors of your first act. That's when those rules go out the window, where you're trying to, then you can actually bake a card into your deck, because your deck is pretty early. You don't have a whole lot of cards in your deck. When you are, I'd say, under 15 cards from your initial deck, you can bake in a lot of cards. No, I'd say under 5 cards above your regular deck. You can bake in a lot of cards and gain a lot of effects for them. Once you're past about 10 cards deeper than your initial deck size, you're gonna have a lot of more issues. Don't forget, you have to draw these, okay? So now, obviously, if we look at a 10 card deck, we look at drawing a singular card in that 10 card deck, we have a 1/2 chance to draw any one card in our deck that we want. We go to a 20 card deck. Now we have a 1 in 4 chance to draw any one card that we want in our deck. More copies obviously definitely increases this chance. You have to think about all these effects. The amount you have, we have a 44 card deck. We do not want to, so we have a 1 in 44, basically a very low chance to draw one of our good cards, okay? We have close to a Yu-Gi-Oh size in deck. Remember, at this point, at 40 cards, genuinely, to make a card consistent, we want at least 3 copies of it in the deck. When you get to 60, you want about 4 copies of a singular card in a deck to be able to draw it within your opening hand with regularity. So, as I was saying, you can see very many of these cards. Okay, so I was about to talk about Protect and Third Eye. These cards I picked up. These cards were ones I picked up. They are very reliable. I like these cards here. Swivel. This card, it can be reliable. Its effect is until you play. So it just sits around until you use it. So you don't have to use it the turn you activate it. So it can be good, but it only gains you 8 block. Upgraded gives you 11 block, which is not bad. But if you compare it to Protect, which is a common cost, which gives you 12 and 16, its block effect is not that great. The attack is good, but you want to get an attack that can mean something that you hit with that. So, once again, can be good, can be bad. Spirit Shield, I have never been sold on Spirit Shield. It is one of those cards, because it's 2 cost. I would say you need to activate this into your hand right away if you need it. And once again, it's a thing that you have to draw. Like, I would rather have things like these that give me good effects. These ones I love. They cost 1. They gain me either 7 or 9 block, and then they scry a bunch of cards. So it lets me look at this. And with Plus, it lets me look at my entire next hand and decide, do I want to keep any of that hand? And then I get to decide. I get to sculpt my entire next turn with an upgraded version of this, okay? Like, I don't get to decide all of them, but if there's cards I don't want, I don't have to draw them. I can draw unknown cards instead. This is future card advantage, sculpting your next turn, being able to defend yourself to get to that next turn, really good. And since this is an endurance race, we do have to constantly thinking, not just get to our next turn. Look at what happened here. Look at how quick we lost as we lost. Like, look at how quick we lost 3 fights in on Act 2. Okay? I am talking more about, I have spent more time talking about this run than I have playing this run. And on this video. I should say we played it like 30 minutes on the last video. So you're all going to be wondering, why do we have a 30-minute video when we are talking and all we're doing is talking? Because this is a learning lesson. But yes. One more card I would like to talk about is Blasphemy. Blasphemy, Enter Divinity, die next turn, exhaust. Oh, by the way, I will be slicing these up and putting them into shorts. If you're watching this as a short, yes, this is why I got the idea of starting to take a look at these cards and talk about these cards, because I want to divide them up and talk about how they work. The Blasphemy is one of these cards that can be good if you have a good hand for it. I don't like it because it's situational. Blasphemy Plus lets you retain it, so at least now we can hold it until it matters. So if you pick this up, at least smith it to get the retain ability. So that way you can activate the Set of Divinity and be able to gain the triple energy and attack deal triple damage. Remember, as soon as you activate this, this is your last turn. You have to win here. So you have to make sure you have a hand that will win here. So once again, smith it so that way you can retain it and then you can hit the go button when you need to. That would be my suggestion with Blasphemy. Ragnarok, honestly, your mileage may vary. This card can be good, can be bad. I'm not a fan of it. Lesson learned, I like the card. It can be a bit trappish though. You look at it and you're gonna start wanting to kill everything with it. I tried that. I'll tell you what, got me killed. I wouldn't say do it. I would say avoid this card. Scrawl, take it. This card, especially Scrawl's plus 0 cost draw until your hand is full. Take it. This card is gas. This card just is gas, especially when you smith it. Absolutely gas card, take it. Alpha plus, once again, slow cost. Takes a lot of things to get working. You have to have a deck that can facilitate it, and even then, even if you get the deck to facilitate it, it's not that great. Wish, this card here, can be great, can be bad. I'm not exactly sold on it. It does a lot of effects. It can be good. I'm just not too big on it. I've tried it many times. It just doesn't work that great for me. Omniscience, it's heavy cost. It's a very heavy cost card. Yes, you do get to play a card twice, but you exhaust it, and then you exhaust this card. So you lose 2 cards to be able to play 1 card twice. So you also have to have that card in deck, which means you have to draw this card with the card you want to play in deck. So, can be good. I don't recommend it. I talked about many of these cards, so if there's other cards you want to talk to me about, have me talk about, I can actually go ahead and talk about them later on. I can usually find them on the Wikipedia or something, or find a way to talk about these cards. Anyway, still, have a good day. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk and rant about various rare cards and how they cannot be your entire deck. Like, this shiny sounds fun, and then you play and you realize, oh, it's actually a pain in the ass, because you just have so many do nothings when you build it, especially when you get all the colorless. All of a sudden, now we're just talking about a deck that's just crammed full of basic do-nothings. And they cost a lot. A lot of these. I'm looking at these costs. 2 cost, 2 cost, 2 cost, X cost, X cost. Very few 0 costs, very few 1 costs. And a lot of the 1 costs are upgraded. Yep, 2 costs, 2 costs. A lot of 0 costs are decent. But they aren't exactly the best ones to play. They gain you cards, but the problem is those skill cards they let you draw. 2 cost, 3 cost, 4 cost, 3 cost. You don't have many basic 1 costs. That's the other thing. Your costs, you have to think about how your opportunity costs. Remember, when you're paying a 2 cost, you have to have a card with 2 cards worth of value. I know I keep on going about this, and I'm gonna go until I think that I just like talking about this game. This is one of the things I want to talk about. You have to have a card worth 2 costs, 2 cards worth of value to play a 2 cost card. Is this card worth 2 costs worth of value? That's why when I bring up a card that's 2 costs, is this card worth 2 cards worth of value? Or is it worth just 1.5? Or is it worth just 1? Or is it worth just, maybe it's worth 2 or 3 or 4 overturns? How many turns can we sacrifice to be able to pick up that value? That's the question. We have to look at the cost versus opportunity. We have to look at the opportunity cost versus the value we're getting, especially when we start increasing that cost. So, thank you. Have a good day, and I will be back tomorrow.